The Alamo Plaza resides in the heart of San Antonio. Many do not know that the Mission Complex was far more formidable than the restored chapel and courtyards that remain today. In fact, its perimeter covered several additional acres, featuring several different structures and pens. Her exterior walls were likewise formidable as a result of their 3-feet-thick adobe construction. Undermanned as the garrison was, she still made a respectable defensive position for the handful of Texians inside. But there was one weak point: a low palisade wall constructed of earth and sticks just south of the chapel. In the early morning hours of March 6, 1836, Santa Anna's troops hit the garrison from all sides. But would one like to wager where the Texan lines were finally broken? Indeed, it was at the hastily constructed palisade wall near the chapel. It is here that tradition says Davy Crockett fell to Mexican musketry and bayonet. Had that one section of wall been made like the others, the final outcome well might have still been the same given the dwindling supplies and ordnance of the garrison and the overwhelming numbers of the opposition. But the timeline likely would have been different. Perhaps it would have been time enough for reinforcements to have responded to Travis's requests, but not likely. We can speculate all we like, but the one thing that's sure is the exploitation of that weak point was the greatest contributor to the fall of the Alamo, aside from the adversaries themselves. And so it is with our very lives. We too have an adversary, but not one to be defeated by earthworks and musketry. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Our foe is a crafty tactician and a seasoned veteran of such warfare. He will not leave one weak point unexploited. Our giving an inch is often our giving a mile concerning the snares of our enemy. The abundant Christian life must be a guarded one. There is no room for the casual Christian in the trenches and parapets, as any who have gone beyond mere Christian culture will attest. Is it any wonder that so many who ought to be but bond servants of the living God find themselves enslaved in bondage? Satan has reconnoitered our defenses and surveyed those lacking before launching his well-coordinated assaults. Far too often we are so shockingly overwhelmed thereby that we cannot even mount a successful counterattack. And so we submit to the wrong entity. We seek to serve two masters under the deceit of hopelessness. Just ask those whose pride has hurled them into detriment. Just ask those who return to their lust as the dog to its vomit. Just ask those who have wagered all on self-sufficiency and been found wanting. Just ask the staggering statistic of genuine believers living in a consistent deficit of God's fellowship. Those who, though they indeed have the eternal inheritance, will never know the joy of a life walking with Abba in the center of His will. We would all do well to regularly take stock of our defenses and inventory our spiritual ordnance. We combat darkness with light and lies with truth. We condition ourselves for battle through correspondence with the Most High. And we taste victory when we hand off the battle to the Almighty. For He too knows our weaknesses, yet still spilled His blood on our behalf, and offers us all things pertaining to life and godliness. Though our defenses be weak at some points, they can nigh be breached when the Lord of hosts is manning the parapet.